The Taiwan Strait is one of the world's most dangerous geopolitical flashpoints, a narrow stretch of water that has become a symbol of unresolved conflict and global tension. Here, history, politics, and economics collide, making this region a focal point for the world's attention. For over 75 years, the strait has marked the unresolved front line of a civil war between China's Communist Party and Taiwan's government. The split began in 1949, when the defeated nationalists fled to Taiwan, leaving the communists in control of the mainland. Since then, the two sides have developed along radically different paths, but the question of sovereignty has never been settled. Beijing insists Taiwan is a breakaway province, not a separate country, and vows to reunify it, by force if necessary. China's leaders see reunification as a core national goal, and have ramped up military pressure, flying jets near Taiwan, and conducting large-scale exercises to send a message to both Taiwan and the world. Taiwan, meanwhile, has become a thriving democracy, holding free elections and building a vibrant civil society. Its open political system and energetic media stand in stark contrast to China's one-party authoritarian rule, making Taiwan a symbol of democratic resilience in the region. The stakes are enormous. Taiwan is the world's semiconductor hub, producing the advanced microchips that power everything from smartphones to cars and even military equipment. Any conflict here could cripple global supply chains, disrupt the world economy, and send shockwaves through industries everywhere. Strategically, Taiwan's location is vital for controlling the Pacific and protecting U.S. allies like Japan and South Korea. Whoever controls Taiwan holds a key position in the first island chain, a defensive line that shapes the balance of power in Asia. That's why the US, Japan, and others are determined to maintain the status quo. They provide military support, diplomatic backing, and economic ties to help deter conflict, knowing that instability here could have far-reaching consequences. For Taiwan's 23 million people, the threat of invasion is a daily reality, shaping their identity, politics, and even daily routines. Despite the looming threat, life goes on. Families gather at night markets, students attend school, and citizens participate in democracy, all while keeping a wary eye on the horizon. Every Chinese military drill or diplomatic move is a reminder of their precarious position. The constant tension keeps the world on edge, as even a small miscalculation could escalate into something far bigger. The world watches because a single misstep in the Taiwan Strait could trigger a global crisis, drawing in major powers and reshaping the international order. In this small island's fate, the world sees the stakes of our interconnected age. In March 2025, Taiwan's President Lai Ching-te made headlines by calling China a foreign hostile force, a dramatic and unprecedented shift in the island's official rhetoric. This bold statement marked a clear departure from previous administrations, signaling a new era of assertiveness in Taiwan's approach to cross-strait relations. President Lai cited relentless Chinese espionage, cyber attacks, and near-daily military threats as the driving forces behind his new security strategy. He argued that Taiwan must act decisively to defend its democracy, protect its sovereignty, and reassure its citizens in the face of mounting pressure from Beijing. Lai's proposal was sweeping and controversial, aiming to overhaul Taiwan's internal security framework and send a strong message to both domestic and international audiences. One key measure: reinstate peacetime military courts to prosecute cases of espionage and sedition, a move designed to deter infiltration and punish those who threaten national security. Another major step: tighten controls on Chinese visitors and scrutinize Taiwanese citizens with business or family ties to the mainland, aiming to close loopholes that could be exploited for intelligence gathering or influence operations. Beijing erupted in anger, denouncing Lai as a reckless provocateur and accusing him of undermining regional stability. Chinese officials issued stern warnings, threatening resolute actions if Taiwan dared to cross what Beijing calls its red lines. The day after Lai's speech, Chinese fighter jets crossed the Taiwan Strait's median line in a dramatic show of force, sending a clear signal of Beijing's willingness to escalate militarily if provoked. With both sides ramping up rhetoric and military maneuvers, the message was unmistakable. The stakes in the Taiwan Strait have never been higher, and the world is watching closely as tensions reach a new and dangerous peak. Beijing's goal is non-negotiable reunification with Taiwan by persuasion or force. China uses economic pressure, diplomatic isolation, and military intimidation to wear down Taiwan's resistance. Taiwan's government, led by the DPP, insists it's already a sovereign democracy and rejects Beijing's terms for talks. China's gray zone tactics, military flybys, cyber attacks, and economic coercion keep Taiwan under constant pressure. Internally, Taiwan is divided. The DPP resists China, while the opposition KMT favors closer ties. Beijing exploits these divisions, hoping to weaken Taiwan from within. Even symbolic gestures, like a proposal to salute China's flag, spark fierce debate and highlight deep societal rifts. The political chasm between the two sides is only growing wider. The US walks a diplomatic tightrope over Taiwan, balancing its interests in Asia with the need to avoid open conflict. For decades, Washington has tried to maintain peace and stability in the region, even as tensions simmer between China and Taiwan. This balancing act is a cornerstone of US foreign policy in East Asia, requiring careful maneuvering and constant reassessment. Officially, the US acknowledges Beijing's One China stance, recognizing the People's Republic of China as the sole legal government of China. However, it stops short of endorsing this view, instead maintaining robust unofficial ties with Taipei. This nuanced position allows Washington to engage with both sides, but it also creates ongoing diplomatic friction. The Taiwan Relations Act, passed in 1979, obligates the US to provide Taiwan with the means to defend itself. This has led to billions of dollars in arms sales, advanced military equipment, and ongoing training missions, moves that consistently anger Beijing and fuel regional anxieties. Washington's policy of strategic ambiguity is designed to deter both a Chinese invasion of Taiwan and a unilateral declaration of independence by Taipei. By keeping its intentions unclear, the US hopes to prevent either side from making a risky move that could spark a wider conflict. In recent years, US support for Taiwan has grown more visible and assertive. There have been more arms deals, more high-level diplomatic visits, and increasingly vocal public backing for Taiwan's democracy. These actions signal a shift in Washington's approach, reflecting growing concerns about China's military buildup. Each new gesture of support from Washington provokes fierce Chinese military responses, including large-scale drills and aggressive maneuvers near Taiwan. The risk of miscalculation or escalation is ever present, as both sides test each other's resolve. High-profile visits such as House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's trip to Taiwan in 2022 have triggered unprecedented Chinese military exercises and diplomatic protests, pushing tensions to new heights and drawing global attention. The US now finds itself caught between defending a democratic partner and avoiding a direct confrontation with a nuclear-armed China. The stakes are enormous, not just for Taiwan, but for the entire Indo-Pacific region and the world. Every decision made in Washington is closely scrutinized by both Beijing and Taipei, as well as by allies and adversaries around the globe. The world watches for any sign of change in America's delicate stance. In this high-stakes environment, the margin for error is razor-thin, and the consequences of a misstep could be felt far beyond the Taiwan Strait. Taiwan is transforming into a fortress. Outgunned by China, it's investing in mobile missiles, drones, and air defenses, embracing a porcupine strategy to make invasion costly. President Li's push to reinstate military courts is part of a broader crackdown on espionage and infiltration. New laws tighten scrutiny of cross-strait travel and business, aiming to block Beijing's influence campaigns. Civil defense is now a national priority. Longer military service, regular air raid drills, and widespread first aid training. The government argues these measures are essential in an era of hybrid warfare. Taiwan's message: it's ready to defend itself, militarily, legally, and as a united society. For ordinary Taiwanese, the China threat is a daily undercurrent. Students in Taipei juggle studies and air raid drills, always aware of the missiles across the strait. Farmers and business owners face sudden trade bans, their livelihoods hostage to political whims. Nearly every family is touched by extended military service, blending pride with anxiety. Despite the pressure, life goes on. People innovate, protest, and celebrate democracy. There's a shared determination not to let fear define their future. Living with both normalcy and constant vigilance is the new Taiwanese reality. August 2025. Taiwan's new hardline stance has raised the stakes for the entire region. China may escalate military drills or cyber attacks, or wait. Betting time is on its side. The risk of accidental conflict is rising as forces operate in close quarters. The US and its allies must support Taiwan without triggering a wider war. The world's reliance on Taiwanese semiconductors adds urgency to the crisis. Most Taiwanese want to keep the status quo free, democratic, and not ruled by Beijing. Their resilience is their greatest defense. The world is watching a high-stakes test of wills that could reshape the global order.